this video, I'll be talking about using Daz3D to support various aspects of fantasy art. This is just my experience with it. Daz3D is a full-blown animation package, lighting package, provides assets for various tasks, 3D rendering, specific character focus. Its primary focus is on producing that kind of artwork, but it's very useful for things such as visualizing subject matters and drawing. So I'll be talking about that a little bit. One thing to note is that currently, with the technology that's now available for PCs, you have very high-end assets and very talented people who provide these assets, and it helps a great deal in your artwork. This is a demonstration of going ahead and showing how the Daz3D program can be used for poses. Poses are available from the Daz3D marketplace as add-ons, and they will show up in this area here, and you can go ahead and just select them. For example, you can just go ahead and spin through the various collections I have here and pick one. And then you could, for a certain minimal price, they'll provide a variety of different poses. And you're then able to access the different camera angles, different positions, and do that. They're usually grouped by subject matter, or they can be partials. That is where they'll just modify the upper portion or the lower portion. And they can do for mixing and matching. Some of them, in this particular case, represent a non-standard positioning, so they warn you ahead of time on those. And this should give you a little bit of a feeling for how that you can use Daz to do different kinds of poses. Now here's an example of an item that's available in the Daz3D store. It's a collection of poses and hand props. Just go ahead and just give an example. So that models are available, and these are sample poses. The way these things are designed, they're oftentimes done by professional animators, or certainly people who are more versed in this than I am. And the nature of how this is set up, the prop will actually fit into the hand almost automatically. So that's very convenient for setting up the poses. But as you can see, the poses are fairly complete. And this makes it pretty straightforward to get a reasonable pose from your character. Another feature that's available in Daz3D is the use of predetermined facial expressions. In this setup I have here, you can see we have the model in 3/4 view, and then over here on the side we have predefined expressions. This is available as an add-on for purchase from the Daz3D libraries. And what you see is that under pose controls, head, expressions, you have a bunch of these little dials that represent some kind of emotion, and then you can dial it up and back to see the different kinds of emotions. This is very useful in understanding facial expressions and what components in the face are available and participate in a given expression. And finally, another feature that's really great about it is that somebody who knows something about how these expressions are produced has placed that information into these little dials for people like myself who have no clue how that goes. So that's another feature that's very useful in the program. What's on the screen now is a third type of thing you can do in DAZ 3D, which is pose a model and then place clothing on it and run through a simulation called a D-Force cloth simulation. This is again products that are available in their marketplace. And in this particular case, what you're looking at is a pose which I deliberately set up to basically give an example of clothing folds at the elbows and at the knees. And without the use of the simulation, you'd see that pretty much a lot of the folding that you see wouldn't be present. But you can also see that you do get a fairly decent simulation, especially around the abdomen and the knees and the arms.